Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely spectacular show coming your way today. We got this young man doing great things. He's going to tell you about some of the things that he is doing. And so I tell you what, you want to grab about 5-6 bags of popcorn, so we're going to bring it today. How you doing? How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing great. Just busy day, but you know what? I'm happy to be here, healthy, and looking forward to the guest today.
I'm looking forward to this topic because, education is so important in many, many different facets. And this guy is helping a lot of folks out. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, so am I. So am I, most definitely.
So, Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this great guest?
Yeah, so the title of today's show is called Basics to Greatness, Mastering the Fundamentals and Building a Power Team in Entrepreneurship. And we're having a sit-down conversation with Mr. Phillip White. He's the president and co-founder of Theoria Technical College, and he's also a military veteran. He's going to talk about embracing the basics, the path to long-term success, building a power team, the art of leadership and collaboration, navigating challenges, staying resilient and focused, mentorship and lifelong learning, fueling yourself and the next generation. So as the president and co-founder of Theoria Technical College, an international higher education institution based in California, Phillip White is driven by a steadfast belief in the power of education to transform lives. A 24-year-old veteran of the United States Navy, Phillip learned the importance of mastering the fundamentals, lessons that continue to guide his leadership approach today. He leads them from the ground up, building connections with staff and students and ensuring everyone has the support and encouragement they need to grow. Beyond his professional life, he dedicates himself to mentoring the next generation of leaders, nurturing their entrepreneurial spirit, and helping them navigate the complexities of today's economy. He believes that with the right mindset and a relentless pursuit of excellence, anyone can achieve their dreams and unlock true freedom. As the Theoria Technical College continues to expand its reach and empower students to pursue their goals, Phillip is committed to creating a legacy of innovation, integrity, and lasting impact, one that shapes not only careers but communities. And we have the guest on the show, Mr. Phillip White. Phillip,
how you doing?
Good.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Let's do that again, Phillip.
I appreciate it.
Hey, man, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man.
Thank you.
To chat about your school, some of the things that you're doing, and how this is impacting and helping others out there. So, Phillip, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what made you click, why you're so passionate about what you do?
I grew up in Houston, Texas. There was, that's my background. I grew up in the South. So I grew up in a time that, it was a little uncertain. But I am someone who's deeply committed, to equity and purpose. And I want to make sure that, I have a generational impact. I grew up in a community where opportunity sometimes wasn't guaranteed, so I made my mission in life is to create platforms for people to learn and grow and have the ability to, above all, change their circumstances. And whether that be through Theoria or other ventures, I operate from a place of service and legacy, really.
Wow. So you know what? You are a military veteran. So who or what inspired you to join the military?
Oh, man. I come from a family full of military members, number one. So some of my role models was my grandfather, But I joined, truthfully, because I needed structure and discipline. And, I longed for something greater. And honestly, it wasn't really most of my patriotism, I want to say, but it was more of learning survival and strategies to adapt with today's world. I knew that, if I didn't take control of pretty much my environment, that my environment might control me. So the military gave me that foundation, and gave me the tools to stand on, really.
So what lessons did the military teach you that you live by today, presently?
Oh, man, mission focus, understanding, how to lean in, adaptability, the integrity. The military taught me that excuses really don't do anything for you. Execution does. I also learned that to stay calm under pressure, and and lead when other people, as I grew, lead when other people really were looking for direction. That mindset, truthfully, is what carries me through today.
Let's talk about this great university that you co-founded. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about it? What type of programs that you're offering?
Yeah, so Theoria Technical College specializes in early education. We teach teachers who teach children for the state of California primarily, but we are in 23 different states, 6 and under. It really started with, I want to say, a vision. I ain't gonna lie, going to school, didn't like the way school was. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was about disrupting how education serves the working class. It really didn't work for them. So it's particularly in early education, as I used to own a lot of preschools myself, me and my co-founder. We saw too many people stuck, smart people, capable individuals in traditional institutions, but in traditional institutions that literally didn't meet their needs per se. So I built what they needed. And I got the state to pretty much buy into the process, honestly.
Is your school, you say you're located in 23 states, is it online or just brick and mortar, or how are you set up?
Right. So we are hybrid. So we are what you call brick and mortar and online. After the pandemic, obviously, it's more online than on site. But yeah, so we teach in 23 different states. We teach primarily in 2 different countries. So yeah.
How do you go about getting attracting the students?
Oh man, we have a very lengthy process. So what do you mean? Like when you say tracking the students?
Not tracking, but attracting them to.
Oh, attracting the students.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, I want to say it was mostly by word of mouth when we started. When we started Theoria, we thought we were solving a problem specifically because I'm in the city of Carlsbad, so that's in San Diego County, and that's where my schools were at the time. And what we were trying to do was become a platform for individuals to get their certifications, things like that. Well, when I mentioned that the state bought into it, is that we're all governed by somebody. So when they saw the process that we had and how quickly we could ramp students up to be ready for the workforce, they kind of spread the word. Hey, won't you go to this school? And hey, if you go over here, we can offer you this job, or we can help you build this center for those children. And that's literally how we got started. And as through time, being a student of the world, right? We kept perfecting our craft, and that's how we got to where we are today.
How long have you all been doing this?
We opened our doors in 2016. My first student sat down, one student sat down in 2017 in February. And now, it was 4 to 5 classes a week, 30 to 40 students per course. We graduate a lot of students every week almost. And our associate's degree plan is just taking off.
Is it self-paced, or do you all have a curriculum, a time curriculum? Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. For our certificate programs, it is a little bit of self-paced. We have some new programs that are coming out that are, I want to say, almost like 5-week courses. But the associate's degree plan is just like any other college because we all follow the same standard. So it is a 2-year pathway to the early education associates in science. Yeah, so, wow. Do you get an assistance from the government or any of those programs? Do they take? Absolutely not. We are not taking federal funding. And that's not just because that we didn't want it. We more so with our mission wanted to have control, and we wanted to perfect our craft before becoming even bigger than what we are today. By not taking funds, we had the ability to, I want to say we had the ability to control
how our school was developed or how it grew, how we're growing. That was one of the biggest things. But one of the other fact that I would like to tell you about is every professor.
Hey, Phillip, hold that thought. We're going to take a station break. We'll come right back to it after the break. So hold that thought. And I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of this conversation, whether you're watching us on E360 television, traffic TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. And if you want to make some comments, all you have to do is just go to the platform, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Show. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. I'll tell you, sitting back having a conversation with Phillip and talking about his university. And, I think that education is so important in transforming lives. And you're doing it, Phillip. You're doing it. Now, you was telling me about right before we took the commercial break that the government hands off at the time, but you were getting ready to say something else, but we had to take that break.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I feel like we do better than everybody else is that, being brilliant on the basics and perfecting our craft. My staff, my professors, still work in the field, so they are what we would call subject matter experts. And that's some of the things that sometimes gets lost when you think about school. Usually professors sometimes are far removed, or out of practice. And if you want to affect the youth, right, and you want to give them the tools that they need to succeed, you gotta understand what they're looking at. So we take a lot of pride in hiring all staff that are currently living and doing what they do. So that's one of the ways that I wanted to stay relevant. And that's been one of our truthfully most successful tools that we use today.
So, in your opinion, how does the power of education truly transform lives?
Truthfully, education is the key. I mean, it gives people the tools to make, number one, informed decisions, right? It breaks cycles. It builds futures. And back in the day, it used to not be so relevant and accessible, but today it is. And when it is, it becomes more than just the credentials and saying that. You know, it becomes the catalyst that people use for life changing. You know, when you're educated, you know, the biggest thing you do is make an informed decision, and that's one of the things that I want to do.
You know, the topic is today's topic. Why did you want this topic be mentoring or mastering the fundamentals of building a powerful team and entrepreneurship?
Well, because too many people always chase complexity, and they always think that that's the biggest thing. But if your foundation in entrepreneurship is weak, it really don't matter how flashy or how cool you are. I mean, mastering the fundamentals, honestly, is what makes a team durable. You know, and it's the quiet, consistent excellence that truthfully builds legacy. And so being brilliant on your basics is probably one of the most profound tools that I find from a lot of successful people. I know it sounds cliche, but that is one of the biggest things that keep people on top.
You know, so how does core habits and certain principles contribute to a person being able to be open-minded and gain success?
Well, you know, there's one of the sayings is either be good or be good at it, is what my grandfather used to say, right? You know, but what it comes down to is like there's discipline over motivation, right? Execution over ideas, and relationships over ego, meaning that having some fundamental tools and being able to put your ego aside, you know, if you master the small things daily, like for instance, showing up, following through, evaluating your blind spots, truthfully in business, you'll outlast and outpace almost anyone.
So how do you and your team, you know, I know you do an evaluation of this course, but find that other things need to be added, and how you guys go about implementing other things in a different course, different features?
Well, there's a few things. I will say one of my mentors is Nelson Mandela. And, you know, he was a very strategic planner, you know, and, you know, obviously we all know the story. But one of the things that he used to do, even if he knew the decision that he wanted to make, he would always speak last. So he was surrounded, we call it the Obama effect. So Mandela and Obama. Obama used to always surround himself with experts to always make his informed decision. But what he did and what Mandela did, more importantly, is they spoke last. So they would come in a room with a problem, and they made sure everybody in that room spoke before they did. And so they would get pure evaluations on whatever they were thinking about, you know. So the biggest thing is that, you know, you shouldn't move unless all your core pretty much is intact. Every innovation, you know, usually for us gets filtered, you know, through us. But I make sure everybody has a voice, and we ask simple questions. Does this serve our mission? You know what I mean? Does this complicate what we already got going on? And then we always revisit the fundamentals. And every team meeting, you know, it's not an option. It's just what we do. It's actually kind of part of our culture.
You mentioned fundamentals. So how do you ensure that your team stay grounded in the fundamentals due to sometimes rapid change or innovation, just like AI and all that good stuff?
Yeah, man. Like I said, the biggest thing is that we always, above all, remember the mission that we do, and we always try to perfect our craft. And with that being said, AI, how can we make our process smoother? Is it something that's going to help us or hurt us? And then we look at how is that going to work across our team. So that is probably one of the biggest lessons that a lot of companies are not willing to do. They get stuck in their structure, they get stuck in their culture and say, this is how we do it. And you're not being able to adapt with the time. And that's one of the biggest things. For instance, the college system today, it doesn't fit the model student. So that's why Theoria was created, honestly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So with AI, speaking of AI again, have you guys had to adapt, not just to, some of the things you were teaching, but I'm talking about also classes. Have you guys created classes, technical classes, that's going to be able to help keep the future generations updated on the changing in technology?
That is true. So we have, and we only can touch the students that come through our doors. But one of the biggest things that we do is we teach them how to use AI, and we show them the importance of AI and how to use it the correct way. Because obviously, when you think of school, you think of AI, somebody hitting the easy button and printing out their homework of some sort and shooting it to the professors, and then they automatically, turning in their assignment. So we spend a lot of time showing them how to use it. Obviously, as a school, we have a lot of detection software. But more importantly, there are some things that we do that we make them, shoot from the hip, or they don't have the ability to use outside resources. Like I said, the biggest thing that we do here is early education. So we are teaching teachers who teach children, right? So you want your teacher, for that matter, to understand how to use and how to understand the lessons and the subject matter, so she can apply those concepts when teaching children. So that's not something you want somebody to skip past because they can hit an easy button. So we spend a lot of time doing just that, making sure that students not only use AI in the correct way, but we also, try to make sure that we have the ability to detect if they are. So.
And so, what are some of the courses that your schools teach?
So I'll take you through the basics. California, is one of the more stringent schools, or stringent states, I should say, that when it comes to early education, they believe that the preschool educator should have a degree and have been taught at a college level. So not only did I tell you in the beginning that we have an associate's degree that backs early education, the core subjects are like child, family, and community, child growth and development that goes from 0 age all the way to about 6 to 7 years of age. We teach theories and curriculum, showing different styles, attributes on how to teach. We spent a whole class on just being an infant and toddler, showing how to learn, what to look for, developmental appropriate practices, what should you be looking for from a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, how to foster those things. So we sit down and we break it down. So when this teacher sees that point, and then there's the emotional, development side of the house. So we take the time to perfect all that. Then we turn around and say, hey, now that you got staff that are trained up, let me show you how to run this place. Let me show you how to get the parents involved. So all of those things is fostering the mind of that child, because then that's really the reason why we do it. I can't change 17-year-old, 18-year-old's mindset, but if I can develop the children to dare to dream again, like we used to, and like we should, you know, that's going to lead to the better future of America and the community. So that's why this is so important to us.
It's important also. Mentorship, I believe, is so important to engage, just like you said, with the students, with the parents, with the teachers, everybody having the same mindset that they want to all be successful. It takes each and every last one, the parents, the teachers, the educators,
yes, most
students.
definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, so I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but this is very, very interesting. We're going to come back. We're going to pick it up. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of this great discussion, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Gotta have it. Oh, yeah. It's the 4 C's.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are. Grow in faith. And build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and it's sitting here having a sit-down conversation with Phillip White, the co-founder of this great university, Theoria University, and all the great things that he's doing. I think they just had a graduation. I'm gonna show you a clip in a minute because they're always having graduations there, and seeing all the smiles on the graduate faces also brings a joy to one's heart. So tell us about how your graduations are, Phillip.
So the one that that's on the video is our first graduation of our new AS degree. And what makes this one so special is that these students really persevered through that. So I want to give a shout out to them if any of them are watching. I am so proud of you guys and how you accelerated yourselves and you knocked out this degree. This degree is very important because it is the actual plan that here in California that they wanted to implement. And we are the first that have the ability to do it with this new and improved version of how the state of California wants to work. So I'm very proud.
Let's bring it up.
It is with immense pride and joy I stand before you today to welcome and congratulate our first graduating class of Theoria Technical College. This milestone is not just a personal achievement for each of you, but a significant contribution to the future of early education. Earning your associate's degree in early education is more than a credential, it's a commitment to nurturing the next generation. The knowledge and skills you have gained here will lay the foundation for countless children to thrive, learn, and grow. You are the architects of a brighter and more equitable future for these young minds.
This is going to be a career that will change your life. I feel young because I think I've worked with the young, and they breathe life into us the way we breathe life into them. What you give them, they will give you back tenfold, and they won't ask for anything else.
Man, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, what made that group so special to us is that English wasn't their first language, and so we put that group together because of the needs of the communities that they serve. I've always said that. So for me, it was very special to see those students do it like it's supposed to be done. So it was very personal for me on that group. Yeah.
Wow. What is the feedback that you get from your students after they have graduated about what this experience and being part of this university has meant to them?
So the funny thing, you should mention that, is just that they particularly never had seen me before in person. And so I was walking around and I was listening to them chat and talk and how they were, getting dressed and how they showed up and how all the families were so appreciative because, we teach a lot of adults. So a lot of people that didn't go to school, now they're going back to school. So it was a significant milestone for me to hear some of the conversations. And then I come out and say, "Hi, I'm Phillip White." And they go, "Oh." So it was really, really cool for me to see them in that rawness, and understand the importance of the school and the degree and what they were going to do after. There's not enough words to say.
You know, Phillip, you know, one of the part of the title of the show is building a power team in entrepreneurship. So what qualities do you personally look for when assembling a strong collaborative team in anything that you're doing, whether it's through the university or anything that you're doing outside the university, and when it comes to mentorship or just, you know, building the fundamentals of being a good entrepreneur?
And that is probably one of the most key questions I want to say you could have asked. Everybody that I look for when I'm assembling a team or a collaborative team, if you want to call it, self-awareness is one, humility, you know, and execution. You know, I really don't need people who know everything, right? You know, I would look for people who know themselves and are hungry to grow. Skills, you know, get you in the door technically, you know, but character keeps you on the team.
I like that. I like that. That's a great philosophy. So, you know, building a team or just working with a team in general, their conflicts do arise. You know, there's nothing wrong with differences of opinion, but there also has to be a way to handle conflicts, conflict resolution. So how do you manage conflict and maintain unity within diverse teams?
You know what? Clarity and candor, I want to say. You know, we address all issues early, directly, respectfully. One of the biggest things that we also prioritize cultural awareness, right? I found out you can't lead a diverse team if you don't understand, you know, a diverse perspective, right? So we always return to our mission alignment, and we always look at it from that perspective, like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? So for me, it's a almost imperative that the respect and cultural awareness be there.
Wow. So leadership. What's your definition of a good leader?
A good leader will always set direction. You do your best. You do your best to not micromanage, right? You do, as a leader, need your people, or your team for that matter, to understand the what and the why, right? And you know, if you help them understand the what or the why, you know, but you try to let your team influence the how, right? Be equitable, you know, share the ownership. It creates the buy-in for the team. And more importantly, by letting them buy in, it holds space for their voices. And as a team, it helps shape the outcome. So that would be me, you know, setting the direction, the what and the why, making sure that they are there for the how, right? And then giving them that equitable ownership so we can move forward as a team. That would probably be my best.
And do you think it's important to recognize each team member's strengths and weaknesses? Because everyone does have them. Everyone has certain strengths. Everyone has certain weaknesses. But do you believe, like, a good leader, when you're working, let's say, with a team member and you know they have a weakness in their area, and then there's nothing wrong with trying to strengthen them in that area. But when does a good leader know that, okay, I need to allocate this person to do this particular item, or I see another strength in him to offset that weakness?
Michelle, hold that question till we got to take a break.
Okay.
Let's hold that question till we get back. You know, from that, I tell you, this is a great discussion, Phillip. This is a great discussion. We needed this. I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, not too late. All you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
Africa is rising and the world is watching. This July, Tanzania hosts the Africa Trade and Investment Conference, the TIC 2025. A bold step toward Agenda 2063 and the African Continental Free Trade Area. From youth innovation to women in export, from mining to real estate, from B2B to G2G, this is where transformation happens. Break barriers and be a part of the future of Africa.
At Viridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Viridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. That's ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And just like I said prior to the break, you know, Phillip is putting it out there. He's educating us. His school and his team are doing magnificent things and changing lives. And that's what it's all about, is being able to uplift others through the power of education, through the power of mentorship, through the power of just kindness. So all of those things are so important, But yeah, you had asked a question prior to the break. Can you read that question?
Yes. So, Phillip, I'm going to just shorten my question, summarize it. So you got a team member you see that is weak in certain areas. Now, there's nothing wrong with a leader trying to get him or her stronger in that area. But what does, when it comes to good collaboration, good leadership, good mentoring, when does a good leader decide, okay, this person is just not strong in this area, and I have to make a decision on utilizing their strengths instead?
Well, twofold question. When you try to teach somebody a certain way and you feel as a manager that it's not getting across, I usually go within a collaborative effort. Like you said, it's sometimes the way people see things are differently than how you can explain it. So you try to do it from a different angle. But you always want to use everybody's attributes, whatever they're strong in, to the best of their, or the mission's ability, right? So we do make shifts sometimes to keep the team cohesive while we try to figure out a way to build up that weaker spot or thing. But we also do it as a team as well. So I necessarily might not be the best teacher in that aspect, right? So I'll ask one of my one of the directors or deans, or one of my senior staff members for that matter, to try a different approach and see if we can bring that balance up. Yeah.
How do you handle how does a team, and how do you work with the team if you have some type of setbacks, especially to make sure their morale is still intact?
We what I call, is we reframe the narrative, right? Setbacks are usually used as data, right? Not defeat. How did we get here, per se, right? I make sure that the team understands what we're learning and, what adjustments we need to make. And I also give space, to feel frustrated a little bit, but I don't want them to live in that frustration. So we try to understand, use it as a teaching tool, and move past it.
Phillip, did you have mentors in your life? And I'm sure there's been quite a few, but let's just think of one mentor presently that is just giving you a different look on things, which enables you to be a stronger leader and mentor to others.
It's funny you use the word present, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is my grandfather. He has passed away. But the reason why I bring that up is because he didn't really have what I would call a formal education. But he had wisdom, resilience, and grit. One of the biggest things I said earlier is that I was from the South. So you can imagine what he went through to be an entrepreneur. So I saw this man with little bit of an education, literally own 3 different businesses. And he had the respect of everybody. So, he taught me to lead with integrity, and your word should be more than just, what I would call a contract. That shaped pretty much how I operate in every, space that I am.
So, Phillip, where do you see your university 5 years from now?
That's a good question. 5 years from now. We are recently opening up some new programs. We are at the forefront of becoming what I would like to be is the one-stop shop for early education in all aspects. I feel like I'm the passion and our field is overlooked, and it's probably one of the most important ones. So I want to position the school to be that resource to help foster people to become the individuals that I think everybody needs when they're young. And so for me, that is the goal in 5 years, and I am on track to do just that.
What are some takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great discussion that we're having?
Being a lifelong learner is non-negotiable. The moment you stop learning, you become obsolete, I want to say. I study everything, trends, old lessons. I surround myself with people who challenge me. That what keeps me sharp, and that's how I stay relevant. One of the biggest things about entrepreneurship, or business for that matter, or being successful, is what people want to say, is that you have to be able to take a leap of faith and understanding your worth. Those are two of probably the most biggest lessons and the most scariest things that people run into. And you're never going to be what I call successful, technically successful and free, I should say, working for somebody else. So for me, I think entrepreneurship is key. We live in a time that it can be done. And that's probably one of the biggest things I want people to take away. Understanding your why, understanding you need to build your team, make sure you're building the correct team, and don't be afraid to fail, honestly. Yeah.
You mentioned risk. A lot of people are afraid to take risks.
Yes.
And they continue to do the same thing over and over again. So that was a very, very, very great point. So Phil, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. You're invited back if your schedule permits.
Oh, I'm blessed, man. Thank you for having me.
So I want to thank you for taking the time. I'd like to thank Michelle for putting together another absolutely outstanding show like she always do. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners out there for tuning in to the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also every Sunday on KCBQ, The Answer out of San Diego, and K-Sky, AM 660, The Answer out of Dallas-Fort Worth. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.